Us is a 2019 horror thriller movie. It is about an African-American family, and they're going on vacation, and they get attacked by a whole bunch of doppelgangers of themselves, very creepy doppelgangers who are dressed in red, and they carry these like scissors, and they're gonna kill you with them. And there's some really fun horror action comedy moments in this movie. This movie is written and directed by Jordan Peele, who did the fantastic Oscar-winning movie in 2017 called Get Out, which I absolutely loved. I love that movie. I would give it a 9 out of 10, and it is my number 2 movie of 2017 when I rank all my favorite films of the year. So that was a great movie, and I think a lot of people were excited to see what his follow-up film would be, and we're getting this Us movie, and it's definitely very reminiscent of Get Out. This movie stars Lupita Nyong'o as the mother character in this movie. We also have Winston Duke as the father, and the kids are played by Shahadi, Wright, Joseph, and Evan, Alex, and we also got some friend characters of the parents. We have Elisabeth Moss from Handmaid's Tale as like this drunken best friend, and then we got this guy Tim Heidecker as another friend for the father character. So let's talk about the pros of the movie. I thought the acting was fantastic. Everybody's getting to play 2 versions of themselves, a regular version and a doppelganger version, and both are really great. I love the kid characters. They were really fun. I love the father character. He was great. The friend characters were awesome, but Lupita Nyong'o really was the standout in this. When she's playing her normal version of herself, where she's just terrified, that's fantastic. But then you see her as her horrific doppelganger version, and she is terrifying in that as well. Just the way she speaks, the way she stares at you, the way she moves around, and the way she acts. Oh my God, it's like so terrifying. So the acting in this was fantastic. The directing and cinematography in this movie are great. The angles Jordan Peele uses, the way he sets the tone of the movie, the way some of the action scenes are shot are fantastic. One example of a choice that he made is that when Lupita Nyong'o is a little girl, or early, in the beginning of the movie, we're only seeing the world from her point of view, and her parents kind of fade into the background, and you never really get to see their faces that much. So like that was just like an interesting choice that he used to tell the story in this. The score, the musical score in this movie is fantastic. It's by this guy Michael Abels, and he did the score for Get Out. And in this movie, the musical score just really helps set the tone. It's like kind of the movie Children of the Corn. It sort of reminded me the soundtrack a little bit of that, but even better, like really definitely sets the tone for some of these moments. The horror and scary parts in this movie are great. There's some good horror moments in here where you are terrified when you see the reveal of this doppelganger family for the first time. It's scary. And when you see the way the doppelganger families act, and the way they like attack, and the way they carry these scissors to like stab you, is just like very scary. Very good horror moments in here. Very good action moments in this movie when they're fighting these doppelgangers. The cinema I was in really did kind of love some of these scenes, especially the daughter character. At one point she's like walking around with this golf club, and she's finally taking down some of these doppelgangers, and people actually applauded. They're like, yes, you go, girl. You kill those people. So people really did love that. This movie is also really funny. You see that comedic side of Jordan Peele sort of seeping into this movie sometimes, and you've seen that a little bit in Get Out as well, but it really does kind of help your enjoyment of the movie because you have all these scary, horrific moments going on, so it's great to have that comedic release every so often. Let's go on to some of my cons now. I felt the big con for this movie is that the explanation for these tethered people, these doppelgangers, the explanation for who they are, what their motivation is, what their whole plan is very kind of unsatisfying and kind of creates a whole bunch of plot holes. And it's just not a very good explanation and ending for this movie, and it really does kind of ruin a lot of the movie. So the thing with Get Out, going back to that movie, is that movie was very mysterious, and you didn't know exactly what was going on and why the world was kind of weird and what the deal with it was. But when you got the explanation in Get Out, what the deal with everyone was, it totally worked. It explained the whole movie, it made everything make sense, and it made the movie that much better. Whereas in Us, when you get the explanation for what the deal is, you're kind of going like, huh? That's what the deal is? That doesn't make sense. And what's the deal? If that's true, then this doesn't make sense, and there's all these plot holes that cause it just doesn't work, and it kind of makes the movie fall apart a little bit and makes it a little bit disappointing. So in conclusion, I'm very kind of mixed on this film because, like I said, I love the horror, I love the directing, I love the score, I love the acting, I loved so many parts about this movie, but in the end, I'm kind of unsatisfied by the ending. So I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's still worth watching if you want to see what Jordan Peele's follow-up is going to be, but you might be a little bit down on the ending, and in no way is this as good as Get Out was, but still, I think it's still worth watching.